What's going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome back into the Quick Pitch MLB DFS Breakdown here podcast live stream for Tuesday's 15-game main slate. James, we had a nice little 8-gamer that you and I are having fun watching. Shout out Jordan Montgomery with the complete game one hitter. If you watched yesterday's live stream video here, we built the lineup at the end of the show, and Monty was in that lineup as one of our starting pitchers. So that lineup is looking pretty strong right now, and hopefully we can keep some of that continued success into this day's show.
Yeah, 15 games on today's compared to the 8-gamer. I think you and I both prefer the former, the 8-gamer, but 15 games, core slate, it's going to provide us with a little bit of everything. We have elite pitching at the top. We have some arms that we're going to want to stack against. So it should be fun. We have to be creative. You don't have to be crazy because there's not going to be outside of cores, any one particular offense that is just so highly owned compared to the others because every team in baseball is playing. So, this is definitely a slate where, and anytime I think you have a core slate where there's 15 games, you can look to explore other avenues than just stacking cores. Or, this could be one of the lowest owned core slates, right?
Because there's so many games to pick from. Yeah.
Right. So it's going to be a fun approach on Tuesday's slate, and I'm ready to break it down.
Yeah, we'll kick it off at the pitching. Like we mentioned, there's a lot of great guys here. Rodon is at 11K against Detroit. Yeah, Corbin Burns here at 10-6 against the Dodgers. Verlander at home against Minnesota. Dylan Cease on the road here against Baltimore is your 10K and above grouping. We've talked a lot about Dylan Cease. The streak came to an end last time out against Houston. 5 innings, 3 earned runs allowed. Walked 3 there. He had, 19 starts or some stupid thing like that, where he had at least one or fewer runs. That trend got bucked, but now he's on him against Baltimore. How are you ranking these top 4 starters?
I mean, I think it's pretty clear that Rodon has the best matchup of the bunch. I know we have not typically, but there have been times that you and I have talked ourselves and our listeners into Tigers against left. Rodon is in really good form right now.
Yeah.
2 earned runs or less in 4 straight starts. 3 double-digit strikeout outings in his last 5 games. We've seen 38 fantasy point upside during that span as well. Hasn't faced the best competition, but par for the course with Detroit, right? It's not like it's going to get any harder.
Last 2 weeks for Detroit, 5th highest strikeout rating against left-handed pitching, 27.3%, just a 276 WOBA. If you were looking for the matchup, as we talked about with Rodon, well, yes, there certainly have been times this year where we've been like, hey, Tigers, they could be sneaky today. That lineup, not really firing on all cylinders when it comes to those guys that do hit lefties outside of Baez really is the only one that's continued to hit lefties this year. For a spot there, Haas had really good numbers. Jeimer had really good numbers. Those guys' numbers against lefties have kind of tanked. Baez is really the only one. Obviously, the one concern that generally follows Rodon at times is the home roads. Crazy good at home, 1.86 ERA, 3.72 road ERA. But a lot of that also is sort of, matchup dependent. He got hit by Arizona, he got hit by Dodgers, and back-to-back road starts accounted for 10 of those earned runs that he gave up on the road of the 32 this season. So, some tough spots there, but Detroit certainly presents a much easier matchup for him. We talked about it today. When it comes to sort of chalky twins, feels like we always lose money on them. This isn't going to be a chalky twin spot, but it is a Justin Verlander versus twin spot at $10,500. He's faced them once already this season, threw a 1-hitter over 8 innings, struck out 5.
Yeah, I think of the 4, and I think you can go Dylan Cease. I have no problem going Dylan Cease. I think you and I both would agree in Baltimore is a good spot to be these days pitching, unless you're Cutter Crawford the other day. Sorry, John, but I mean, that was just insane.
I feel bad for, again, I'm not perfect. None of us are, or else we'd all be billionaires. But, my exact quote that night when talking about the Baltimore Red Sox game was, not many home runs get hit in Baltimore, and they scored. That game was a 15-10 final. Basically, every member of the O's hit a homer, so can't be right every time. I would be stunned if they went ahead and hit all those home runs off Dylan Cease today.
Agreed. But my point, other than that one game, you were correct. That's just an outlier.
Yeah, very wrong. At least I was very wrong. If I'm wrong, like I always say, I want to be very wrong. I was very wrong. 25 runs scored in that game. So
25. I think Rodon, Verlander are the A tier, and then B tier is Burns, Cease for me. So I think Rodon, Verlander. I don't think there's a wrong answer of the two. I would
And I actually wonder how many people go all the way up there. I mean, if we broke it off of the 10K, it's kind of how we segment them, like 8K, 9K guys. Look at the 9K guys, right? Robbie Ray against Washington. Sure. We've talked about Washington against lefties. Now, I know recent performance, Robbie Ray's been decent with strikeout numbers. Washington the other day, certainly, who'd they run up against that kind of upset us there? Blake Snell. Right?
Like Snell, yep.
Yeah, and we didn't really get the performance we'd hoped for out of Snell there. But still, right now, Robbie Ray at home, and he's pitching against Washington. Could be a spot for him at home this year. 2.8 ERA. We know he's a big strikeout guy. The Washington strikeout numbers against lefties had been trending up. I think they've kind of leveled off again. That team is kind of goes through their ups and downs. Tony Gonsolin, as we mentioned, just sort of one of those ridiculously good Dodgers starters just out of nowhere this year. 15-1, 2.12 ERA. You look at him at home this season, a 1.5 ERA. He's faced Milwaukee already this year, 7 innings, 2 earned, 8 strikeouts. Not going to tell you no when it comes to Tony Gonsolin. Max Fried, lefty, against the Pirates, $9,400, just coming off a start, 7 innings, 2 earned, 6 strikeouts against the Mets. Came off the IL, pitching as well as he did before he went on with a concussion. 94, how do you not go Max Fried here? I don't think you need to spend up for the top guys, or if you do on a big slate like this, there's a good chance that there's enough value for you to sort of fit them all in. But you could literally pick any one of the 6 pitches we've started right now, put them both in your lineup, and I think feel pretty comfortable with it as we've kind of built across. But that's a really strong 9K grouping.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's headlined by Gonsolin, just given how good he's been. I know Milwaukee has been better against righties, but they're also susceptible to the strikeout. I think Fried is super safe in whatever you want to do, but
game, you think?
Especially cash games. Yeah, man. I mean, look, if you just look through his log, you cannot find a start other than his opening start, John. His first start is the only start he has made this year where he did not get us at least double-digit fantasy points.
Right.
That is incredible consistency. That is exactly the floor that you look for in cash games. And you mentioned it. There's actual upside here because it's the Pirates. So,
Fried's facing the Pirates. Gonsolin's got the Brewers.
Yeah. Did I say? Did I make?
I thought I heard you say Gonsolin, but if you said Fried, I'm fully agree with you. I mean, Gonsolin's been great too. So
I pivoted. I went from Gonsolin to Fried.
Okay, you pivoted down. Confused. I was actually looking at I heard you mention Gonsolin. I remembered we talk about this a lot. The Brewers are a really good home team. We talk about Eric Lauer's pitching on the Monday slate, really good home numbers. The Brewers on the road this year, team batting average 188. So, if you're again sort of looking at for reasons, right? That's the last 2 weeks. The Brewers on the hitting 188 overall this season on the road, 230 road batting average for them. So still not great. Still not great. But recent form horrible and running up against one of the best pitchers in the National League.
Yeah, I just want to take a look at FanDuel, by the way, John.
Sure.
Just while we're on Gonsolin, higher price than Dylan Cease on this slate.
Okay.
So is Robbie Ray, also higher price than Dylan Cease. Fried is $100 less than Dylan Cease.
Yeah.
There's 7 pitchers over 10K on FanDuel. I still think Rodon Verlander for me, but Dylan Cease being the 7th or the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 highest price pitcher on FanDuel really stands out.
Sure.
Over there.
I agree with you. What do you make of Ranger Suarez and Nick Lodolo being in the 9K range?
I mean, Lodolo has crazy upside and was very highly coveted.
Just faced them, 7 shutout, 8 Ks, and it's very same matchup, only this time they're on the road.
Yeah, I think, which is even better for Lodolo.
Did they both throw 7 shutout on that side? Did they face one another in those games? That's clear.
When did Lodolo pitch on the 17th?
Yeah, the 17th for Lodolo. Was Suarez on the 17th as well?
Yep, they both
threw 7 shutout, 8 strikeouts against one another in that game.
That was the walk-off for the Reds in the 9th. I don't think we need to really...
You can say no. I just thought it was interesting that they were both in the 9K range comparatively.
Clevenger in a revenge narrative here against Cleveland?
Yeah. I'd rather go back to Lopez, who we thought was pitching.
Agreed.
They didn't move his price tag. He's 8,100. So
I'm down with that. I like that.
Right. That feels, even though again recent form Lopez not great, but still Oakland.
Entire season form Oakland not great.
Right. We talked about Kluber in his last start against the Yankees. He pitched well, $8,800, and now he's $7,700 against the Angels in Tampa Bay. We saw Springs tonight deal against them. What are your thoughts on the way Kluber? Now again, we know that Trout and those guys are and Ohtani and whatnot are in that lineup, but Kluber's been pitching decent of late.
Well, Ohtani wasn't, and I think that's a key. has a stomach ache or a stomach bug, whatever it is, stomach illness, if he's still not in the lineup, and again, like we said it on for Monday slate, like Trout played again, and I get it. Like maybe he's just fully over this injury, but he's now played 4 games in a row since being back after the injury. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. He's going to get time off. Like they're not playing for anything. It hasn't been the healthiest guy in the last few years. Could be a lineup without Trout and Ohtani. And if that's the case, I mean, I would have a lot of interest in Kluber. I think he's fine for tournaments. I wouldn't play him in cash, but I definitely think that we see some nice strikeout upside from him lately. And
yeah,
I mean, we've said it all year. Like the Angels strike out more than anybody else. So
right.
I'm in on.
Yeah, I mean, Trout even strikes out a lot, so it's not even like
right.
Even doesn't even matter really. So yeah, I'm in there. I think that Kluber's kind of interesting, just given the price drop. After that, though, I don't know. There's, do you like any of the guys under Kluber here? I mean, does anybody jump out to you? We can't use the Coors guys. Stripling is kind of interesting. Boston's lineup is just so meh. They don't seem interested. He's faced him 3 times this year. He doesn't have a win or a loss, but he's been okay. 321. They are obviously being in Boston. That maybe changes things a little bit, but like Stripling has always been a good pitcher. They've let him pitch, 90 plus pitches at times. I know his pitch count sometimes is a worry for him, but I feel like stacking Toronto offensively is a route that some will look to go. We know Winkowski is trash. They put Evaldi on the IL today, but I mean, if you look at the rest of the value here, I don't know, maybe Jose Suarez at $6,600. I don't see much
super
else.
Good, right?
Yeah, I don't really see much else that I would want to tempt myself.
I would have I have mild interest in Stripling. I'm with you. Mild interest in Suarez.
Yeah.
Mild interest in Zach Davies, who didn't look terrible his last time out, and I don't think much of the Royals.
Yeah, the 6 strikeouts was interesting because or a pleasant surprise because he's not a strikeout guy.
Right.
So that's my if he needs a win. Because 5 innings, 3 strikeouts, 2 earned, whatever, is not going to get you any points. So
fair. I'm just trying to pull something out here.
There's nothing here.
I'm trying. Maybe Austin. How about this? Austin, 4 straight starts of 15 plus fantasy points. We know the White Sox are just a much better offense against lefties. I guess they've been okay against righties in August. They're 11th in OPS, but they're not hitting for any power.
Right.
27th in ISO. I think that's gonna rear its ugly head in Camden because there's just no power being showed there.
I just don't think there's any win equity there because Cease is on the other side.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Baltimore's been the best team in the American League East over the last.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I could be dead wrong. Cease just gave up runs. Maybe he was so good for so long. Maybe he goes the other way,
I don't disagree. And I wouldn't play a single one of these dudes in cash, but I think Voth would be probably the only other guy I actually would consider playing down here.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's kind of where I'm at too. I'll probably land on Suarez over Voth, but if you want to be different, I think that's probably the pivot, right? So, and I think we look too. Hasn't Tampa Bay struggled against lefties? Aren't they one of the teams up there with strikeouts too?
In the month of August, Tampa is 14th in strikeout rate, 23.8%. So there is some strikeout upside. They've also they're 22nd in OPS. Good pitcher's park as well. So you're onto something there.
Cool. All right, let's go to catcher. Well, we talk about, looking to spend up, looking to spend down, finding the value, especially at the catcher. Again, I like Toronto, so if Kirk's there, I'd be fine kind of putting him in the mid-tier range there. Coors is obviously in play. You can go whichever catcher you want of the Rangers or of Colorado, whomever's in the lineup there. All of that is fine for me as well. We also do have the lefty matchup for Mia, which we've talked about, even though we like Suarez. He didn't do much tonight, but, could certainly go that direction if you wanted to. And our boy Darno is still very cheap at $3,300.
Yeah, I don't think much is going to change night to night. All those guys you mentioned, I think are firmly in play.
Yeah.
I don't hate Jose Trevino for the Yankees against Taijuan Walker now that he's starting. We mentioned it last night. I don't hate Bethancourt if he's in the lineup with Mejia. Joey Bart's been incredible for a little while now. Drew Hutchison, I don't think much of. So I think all those guys are firmly in play.
Okay, and obviously as lineups come out, for this. We'll be able to maybe identify some other
Sure.
matchup plays, but catcher position again is generally one that we don't find, unless there's like a for sure matchup, which today there's too many good pitchers for there really to be a hammer home spot. So you kind of look and find where you think the runs are going to be going there. So first base at the top, if Ohtani's in the lineup, he's 64, Goldie's at 6K. Again, I'm buying into Toronto, $5,800. We talk about it all the time. Like, nobody ever plays Blue Jays, even though they feels like they're always in great spots. It also feels like they underperform more often than not, too. But Winkowski is just so awful. So I'm in on Vladdy there. Anybody else for you?
Above 5K? I mean, Alonso against Frankie Montas. Montas has been so bad.
We talk about this. Montas on the road before he was traded from Oakland was horrible. All of his production was great in Oakland. Now he's home ballpark, his Yankee Stadium, and it was not a good day. And it killed me because I had the under 87.5 pitches or whatever it was, and they sent him back out for the 6th inning, despite the fact that he gave up 6 runs in 5. So
they said, Montas, you're our lamb today.
Yeah.
We need you to just eat innings. Yeah.
Yeah, frustrating. So I'm with you there. I think that's a good one.
I'd probably play Rizzo as well in Yankee Stadium.
Sure. And Cron, I mean, I cut it off at 5K, but like Cron's been way better against righties this year. As we talked about, and you get the Coors bump for sure. Olsen against Brubaker. We talked about Olsen. The power swing's been in stride for him at 47. Hoskins gets the lefty. I know Lodolo shut them down.
So good numbers. Righties have good numbers against Lodolo. I was just looking at this because I just wanted to see like how much stock we should put into their price tags.
Yeah.
830 OPS, 368 WOBA against right-handed bats for Lodolo. Hoskins, 435 WOBA, 7 home runs and 108 at-bats against lefties.
Right.
Big time spot for him.
Yep, I'm with you. I think that's a good spot for $4,600. And people may be off of them because they just saw Lodolo shut them down, right? So, they could be scared off that a bit, so the mid-tier. Guys that are in that low 4K and below, I mean, I know we talked about Voth, but like, when is Jose Abreu ever 4K? I mean, get it? We talk about the splits and all that stuff and whatnot. I mean, he's hitting 500 over his last 10, right? Like,
that seems pretty good.
Yeah, listen, again, I understand that this is a pitcher's park and it's a righty, but like Jose Abreu is not a $4,000 hitter.
No, never.
So this could be like, hey, DraftKings, like it's a 15-game slate. We have to price. We can't give everybody 5K price tags, and they just like some interns like Jose Abreu 4K. So I mean, I love that spot for Abreu at 4K.
Yeah, I have no problem with it. I would say the only thing I'm going to have trouble with is not playing 5 Astros, and Trey Mancini's the same price. I know Abreu's been way better, but I was just looking up Aaron Sanchez numbers this year, John.
Yeah, I know they're not.
Right-handed batters against Aaron Sanchez this year.
Yeah.
421 average, 471 OBP, 697 slug, 492 WOBA. He has a 10% K rate against righties, 2.65 home runs per 9 innings.
Are those good numbers? Yeah.
I think they're quite good. Yeah.
Does he pitch more than 4 innings though? I guess is the problem, right? Like,
I think that it
might not matter. Well, I don't mind it at 4K. You're right for Mancini. Probably better GPP is maybe Abreu's a cash game 4K guy.
Sure. Yeah, I like that call.
And they both may go on their own because our boy Nate Lowe is at 3,600 in course. Right.
And righty lefty, and he's just
Look at this. I know you don't have it. You have it in front of you. I'm showing it to the viewers here at home. Last 10 games for Nate Lowe. Nathaniel Lowe. Sorry, I'll get his name correct. 447 batting average, an 1170 OPS. He's got 2 homers, 2 doubles. Now they're in cores. They didn't touch his price tag. They bumped him $400. So even if you're one-offing, right? Aren't you spending down to Nate Lowe in this spot?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, he's your cash game play. No question about it. Yeah. That's your cash game first baseman and move on.
Because he's right. I mean, unless we're completely misreading it, we always assume high ownership in cores.
We're not
middle of the order bat on a hot streak right now.
Like just even like you even saying that you're misreading it, and then as you continue to like just name more
reasons
things,
why
like,
he should be high.
More reasons as to why.
Should we lock him into our lineup? Should we put Nate Lowe in the lineup?
It depends on. Let's revisit the approach at the end because I think we're gonna have a discussion about fading cores.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go to second base then. Drury's at 56. Birdie's at 52. Altuve day to day. Let's see. What do we got the most recent update here? Out of lineup for Sunday with shoulder soreness. So we'll have to wait and see. Could be a game time decision, but you mentioned all those righties numbers against Sanchez. Ketel Marte is back. Not paying 52 for him. Rojas is 52. Not a big fan of that. Rogers and Coors is at 51. Semion's at 49.
Here we go with Semien, huh?
Yeah. Semien 49 and Coors. I've been playing a lot of Jimenez. And nobody, he used 3.5% the other day against the White Sox. He gave you 10 fantasy points at 5K. Gets the lefty spot against Clevenger here. Is it, again, I just think nobody's going to be playing him. So, if you're looking for me a low ownership play, I mean, he's been very good. So, find the spot for him.
I mean, 36 extra base hits, 14 have left the yard, 15 stolen bases, and a lot of those have come lately, too. Like, if you look, he had 3 stolen bases. He has 6, 7 stolen bases in August alone.
Yeah.
So there's really no down. Like, he's just been super efficient and high upside type of guy. So I'm 100% with you.
Yep. Mid 4Ks. Who stands out to you?
Jeff McNeil has been amazing for the Mets of late. I know, like, we don't typically think of McNeil as like an upside guy, but 460 average is good enough for me.
7 doubles. Now you're in. Maybe those doubles are home runs in Yankee Stadium, right?
Literally what I wrote in Monday's playbook, word for word. Like, some of those doubles turn to home runs in Yankee Stadium all the time, especially for lefties. So I like Jeff McNeil quite a bit. I don't hate Wilmer Flores at 43. We've talked about it. He's been equally as good against righties, if not better against righties this year, for a guy who's been typically better against lefties his whole career. You can go with Merrifield.
I was going to say, again, just filling out the Toronto stack. Toronto stack.
That's your, he'll hit 9th and he'll, flip it around to Springer Guerrero.
Yeah, I mean, he's not hitting well, but homer today. So homer the other day. Sorry,
it was a double bounce off the top of the wall in Yankee Stadium.
It counts.
It does.
Counts as a homer.
Should account for 2. I mean,
It's true. Let's see. Anybody else here?
Vaughn Grisham, 2300.
Obligatory Fletcher shutout.
And Grisham, 23.
Sure. Let's see. That is Arroyo, if he's in the lineup again, at 2,500. Grisham at 23, like you mentioned, for sure.
The Rangers have been playing Mark Mathias a little bit. He's hit 2 home runs in his last, 9 games. Okay. $2,000. Free Coors play. Just throwing that out there, too.
Yeah. You get 3 hits in the last 4 games. Works for me. RBIs in, 5. Could be something in 2K. It's going to be the chalk, though. Just like he was today.
Yeah, I mean...
He shouldn't be 2,300. So
no, but listen, we know DraftKings. We understand football's right on the corner, man. We know. Just
though, I feel like Brew Breaker's upset us more than he should have.
He has been good. I mean, I think he threw 7 scoreless against the Red Sox last time. I think that was 2 hits against the Sox.
Yeah, I'll keep on going back to the well against him now.
Well, even if Grisham had 5 fantasy points on Monday.
Yeah,
you're fine.
Right, it's 2,300. It's fine. Yeah, he's not killing you.
Fine. You're playing. If we agreed on building a cash lineup, we would already have Nate Lowe, Vaughn Grisham. That would be That would be the first 2 players in our lineup.
Yep, I agree with you. All right, third base, usually our favorite position here. Machado against Savali, Devers against Stripling, Arenado against Sampson against Chicago, Ramirez at Clevenger, Riley at against Brubaker here, and Alex Bregman at $4,900 against the Aaron Sanchez.
Well, I'm going Bregman.
Yeah.
I'm not obviously out here looking for
monster
55
game
fantasy points.
4 games ago.
But we have ad nauseum said how much better against right-handed pitching he's been this year.
Yeah.
And now we have a right-handed pitcher that has been dreadful against right-handed bats. It's like a match made in heaven. So Bregman's going to be my top spend at third.
Okay. I like it. $4,900. You're saving yourself some money. I don't mind Arenado still at $5,700. I just like the Cardinals. His numbers I think he actually hits this year better for average against right-handed pitching. A lot of his OPS I think is against lefties, but I think average-wise Arenado against righties has been a strong split.
I think you're onto something, and it's something we talked about recently. Yeah, 307 against righties. Nobody plays him when it's a righty. Everyone just plays him when it's a lefty because it's Nolan Arenado against lefties. Well, Do your research. The guy's he's
Still
having the best year of
the
his
ball well.
career.
Yeah, still hits the ball very well. So, but you're right. I think Bregman at 49, you save some cash there on a big slate, has just as much upside as any of those other plays. The forgotten Blue Jay, Chapman against Winkowski at 48. Again, nobody's playing him because you'd find the $100 to play Bregman. So certainly can find your way in that direction. Mid-tier, you were all in on Alec Boehm today. I imagine you'd go all back to Alec Boehm.
3 hits, another 3 hits. I mean, I also think like the Chapman thing, McMahon's $200 cheaper, and he's been really good lately. And like you said, and Alec Boehm 42 coming off back-to-back 3-hit games now.
Yeah.
So
back-to-back 3-hit games and the 2 homer games, 2 games on Sunday. Let's see. Actually, it looks like he left Monday with an injury, so maybe we watched that.
Boehm did?
Yeah.
Oh, hadn't been moving well all game, but he was good enough to have 3 hits.
I was gonna say, what are we talking about? So, all right, maybe Boehm was out of the lineup, so pay attention to that.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, pay attention there. 4K guys, 4K and under. Where are we looking?
Kyle Farmer, the lefty specialist.
Sure. 10, huh?
All he ever does is hit lefties. I'm trying to get to bad transition, James. Gotta be better.
Gotta be ready. Gotta be fast.
Kyle Farmer, 318, 402 WOBA against lefties this year. So I don't hate that.
Okay. That works for me.
I've been playing Donovan Solano. He rakes. I don't know. No, only hits from the right side, but he's been hitting third for the Reds, which is a wild ride, but like that's where we are.
21 batting average last night.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. But I don't think there's like
I was gonna see where do they have your boy? Did they move Oswaldo back to shortstop? Must have.
No, he was down here.
Is he?
You're right.
2K.
Third and short. Yep. Third and short. Maybe. He's been playing outfield. He's been playing outfield too, so only a matter of time. Only a matter of time before he gets some eligibility out there too.
Shortstop, Trey Turner, 59. Seager and Coors, I guess, right? That'd be
it's gonna be
chalk at 58. Lindor against Montas, though, like we mentioned, we don't mind stacking up against Frankie Montas here at $58. $100. Continuing with the Blue Jay stack, Bichette, even though he's kind of been trending down this season. What an awful first-round pick for Bichette was this year.
Yep.
Killer.
Yes.
I don't really see a lot else in the top tier, though. I don't like these guys that are 45 and above. Nothing really is appealing to me.
No, but right below that, your boy, for some safety, Jose Iglesias, 44.
Yeah. Dude, his righty's better than lefties this year. 4,400. Keeps crushing it. I mean, again, Baez has hit lefties this year, but not going to face him against Rodon.
Ooh, Jeremy Pena, 3,800, John. I know he hasn't been fantastic lately, but...
Yeah, I mean, he's been okay. He's had a couple games with some hits. Not as hot as he was to start the year, obviously.
But it's the righty matchup that we're looking for with Aaron Sanchez.
Yep, with you. I don't mind it.
JP Craw, 33.
I was gonna say we haven't talked any Seattle against Eric Fed yet, so could go there. Rojas versus Logue at 29.
Maybe.
Could be.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? He hits lefties historically. So
the Marlins, another team haven't mentioned, and they're having a fairly decent offensive night to this point.
Yeah,
could be in play. I actually don't hate that. We'll see where Rojas is hitting in the lineup, but I don't hate it.
Okay, that's it for me at shortstop.
B. Craw's been a little better lately. Yeah. Maybe aided by Coors, though, so we don't need to go there.
All right, outfield. Again, top price guys are all there. Kind of pick your stack, pick your play. Who's your go-to guy at this range? Is it Jordan, even though it's not a righty?
It might be Jordan just to bring it home. Judge homered. I hate that matchup against
at 4%. Everybody plays Judge every night. He doesn't do anything. He faces Scherzer, so nobody plays him, and he homers at 4%.
I'm gonna go Judge or Alvarez as my 2 top. Even like the Yankees offense hasn't been great, but like we just know what Judge can do in the stadium.
Sure. I don't mind that. Again, I think whatever your stack is, you kind of find that guy and you kind of throw him in there. So Rosarena homer again tonight, gets lefty and Suarez, right? You've been touting that.
He's been incredible for fantasy lately.
Yeah.
Home runs, power, all of it.
Yep, I agree with you. 940 OPS last 10, not counting tonight's games. Certainly a guy that could be in play. We know Coors in Texas, those guys are going to be all available. You know, Dolis is at 47, Blackman's at 48. You can kind of just pick and choose your spot for them there. Mid 4Ks, which ones stand out to you?
Kyle Tucker, 47.
Sure.
Very surprising, I'm sure, to everyone. Lourdes Gurriel, he's struggling a little bit, and I don't know where his power has gone. 4,400, I don't hate that against Winkowski. Winkowski's 10 home runs in his last 9 starts.
Yeah, no, he's been getting crushed.
Castellanos has been super good lately, too. A 12-game hitting streak extended on
tonight.
Monday, and he homered. Homered RBI double. Michael Harris homered on the only 2 runs of the Braves scored. Michael Harris home run.
Yeah.
He loves right-handed pitching.
Yeah, Winker and Haniger both
Yeah,
today.
I don't hate this like 3-man stack you could get of the.
I think Haniger was hitting righties better than lefties last I checked.
Let us see. Haniger is hitting 286 against righties this year. Righties given Eric Fetty some issues. 347 WOBA against, and we know J-Rod is there as well. So.
Yep, I agree with you. Again, you could sack that outfield maybe. Throw Winker in there.
Yeah, could do a little full stack.
Suarez maybe, something like that today.
Sure.
Under 4K guys. If we're going in that direction here, Verdugo's at 35. They just kind of keep him chilling where he's at. You like Harold? You mentioned Harold Ramirez the other day. 3,400 for him against Suarez.
Yeah, he's crushing lefties this year.
We talked up Oscar Gonzalez. Another couple hits the other day. I know it's against Clevenger, but that man's hitting the ball pretty well at $3,400. Let's see.
My boy Jake McCarthy homered the other day, John.
Did he?
I mean, he just is like, look at these numbers. He's just rolling right now. We're rolling Jake McCarthy. 324 average, 910 OPS over his last 10. Get this man some more at bats here. It's good. Top of the order,
It's definitely good. Would you run Gallo out there right now?
I would.
Against Burns?
Oh no, I forgot it's Burns. We talked about him on the seasonal pod today.
Yeah.
And how he is actually viable in fantasy right now. It's wild to think, but he is.
Yep. Franmil's at 3K. Again, still kind of finding his way through that lineup. Kind of works out for that. Let's see. Leotes is 2,800. I know we like that.
Yeah, that's going to be popular.
Let's see. Fraley's a lefty, right? Yeah, he's a lefty. Anybody else for you? Does maybe Nootbaar leads off again now that it's a righty that's pitching, not a lefty?
He might. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good call, John. Nootbaar's been good.
Because with the lefties, the last couple starts, they flipped him to the 9th hole, but he could lead off here with the righty back in the spot.
Sure, I think it's a good call. I don't see anything else. I would play Blade, but he's a lefty in that matchup for Miami. So.
Yeah. All right, give me your home run call then. Then we will make a lineup.
I'm gonna go Bregman.
All right, that's a good one. I'm gonna go Nate Lowe. You're going high.
No, you can't go Nate Lowe.
I'm gonna give you a value play.
You can't go Nate Lowe. Course.
Oh, it's Coors, right? Broke the rules. Broke the rules.
Yeah. If for all those first-time listeners, we do not use
Coors Field for the home run.
We do not use the Coors Field for our home run calls.
Cheating.
Sorry, John.
Sorry, it's my own fault. I got blinded by the absurd price point for. All right, we'll go back to Aaron. No, you're using third base, and I won't do Aaron. I want so we can kind of build a lineup together. I'll go Rosarena. We'll keep it. We'll keep the train running. 49.
Okay. So let's do some builds.
Okay, go with pitching.
All right. Well, what do you want to do about Coors?
I'm fine. No, I want to play it. Yeah. No, we're building a lineup to win. I'm not fading Coors to fade Coors. I want Nate Lowe in my lineup.
So what do we feel about pitching? I mean, who's your SP1? I think we were both in agreement it's Rodon or Verlander, right? Was that?
Yeah, I'm going to go Verlander, save the 500 for me personally.
Okay, that's fine. I'm in with Verlander.
And then I would go Fried just because he's a little bit cheaper than Gonsolin, but I'm fine with both. I think both those guys present you some
let's do that.
Upside.
I think that's a super safe
If we come into any sort of cash issue, I move to Pablo Lopez at 81.
Okay.
Or if we really want to get value, Suarez is at 66. I think that's the 3 tiers that I would approach this at.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to go below Lopez in this build because I think we're going to play Nate Lowe.
Yeah, Grisham's at 2,300.
Nathaniel, sorry.
Yeah,
that was disrespectful.
So do you Fried or Gonsolin for you?
If this is a tournament build, I Gonsolin a little bit more. Let's just save the 300 with Fried. Let's just save the 300 with Fried.
I'm going to lock in Nathaniel if you're cool with that.
Yep, and I think Vaughn Grissom.
Yeah, for us at second base.
Look, I really like Bregman in this spot.
Yep, I'll go Bregman. That's fine. I
think
agree with you.
I think he was the best third baseman spend up, and I think third base is generally one of those positions where you don't always have to spend up, but there's always an elite option at third base.
At catcher, we should probably look to spend down then. Maybe go Darno at 33. As of now, we have 3,800 a player.
It's Darno or it's Mejia.
Yeah, Darno's a little bit cheaper, right? And you get the potential stack there with Grisham.
Darno is cheaper, yep.
So I think we'll again, we could potentially save $1,100 if we go to, but with Lopez, but we'll see where we're at. So we have $4,000 per position. We have shortstop and 3 outfield spots to go. Shortstop was a spot where we didn't find a ton of value, but you did like Jeremy Pena at $3,800. Crawford was 33.
I'm thinking maybe we go to outfield first.
Sure. Okay, Rojas is 29 too, but we can run out to.
We'll find. I feel like we'll find our value.
Who was the value outfielder that you had liked there? We have obviously McCarthy's at 31 against Heasley.
Or Leody Taveras, 28
Leody's to get the Coors Field exposure there. I like that.
I know Marquez is bad against lefties. Leody,
sure.
Switch hits.
What's his stronger split?
Looking that up right now. The stronger split is. I was let down when I originally looked. So the stronger split.
That's not what we want it to be.
I was let down by
the internet.
He hits. He's really good against both. 291 against righties.
Sure. All right, $2,800 Leody's gives us $4,400 a position.
For shortstop and 2 outfilders, right?
Shortstop and 2 outfielders, yeah. Who was our top outfielder that you'd like? You liked Jordan to pair with Bregman, right? Or
do you want to run that mini stack with Jordan? I mean, if we're playing Bregman, I think more Astros the better against Aaron Sanchez.
Do you want Jordan at 57 or Tucker at 47?
How much do you like the Astros?
I don't mind the Astros. They're home, and we talk about Sanchez. Like, I'm fine with going against them.
Kyle Tucker's one of those dudes you could just, when he's hot, like you can play
372 right now at 1,000 OPS. I would say, let's see, 4,700. That's 4,250. I want to get a Blue Jay in this lineup somewhere.
What do we got? What is Springer's price?
Springer's day to day though.
Day to day. It's always day to day.
If he's in the lineup, like I would play Springer. That would give us 3,200 for shortstop, and we would just play like Rojas as a punch shortstop at 2,900 or something like that.
Or would you play Bichette? I know you mentioned him because he has been so bad.
He's been so bad. Like he's just been very bad. But like it's Winkowski doesn't miss bats. He has like the lowest strikeout, like swing and miss percentage. Maybe Toronto isn't the core play. We don't have any Mets in there either. Lindor is.
It's interesting. The Mets are kind of sneaky.
That's what I'm saying.
The Mets are like sneaky.
But we can't really afford them. And what if we take out Tucker? Would you just do one-offs? Would you do one-off Lindor, one-off Bregman? That gives us $3,700 an outfielder for 2 outfielders. I
don't hate that. And you don't have to do Mets Mets one-off. We could play. You got to tell me your thoughts. I mean, we don't have to, but item written up in Monday's playbook. Really good this year against right-handed pitching.
Where have they been hitting him in the order?
I think they hit him 6th or 7th. It's not the best 2-man stack. He hit 7th.
Okay. We put McCarthy in there at 31. Gives us 4,300. Castellanos is 41. Harris is 41. We can go with the 3-man end of the order Atlanta stack. D'Arnaud, Grissom.
That's a nice way
to be different, right?
That's an interesting way to be different. I don't hate that.
Verdugo's. I mean, again, Harris is really good. I mean, they're a pretty strong line. But you mentioned Castellanos is hot. He's got a lefty. I know you said Lodolo's good, but I'm just like,
but he's been bad against righties.
Sure.
Also, let's go Castellanos.
Yeah.
Let's get exposure. I mean, we got 15 games to get exposure to here.
I agree with you. All right, so there it is. So then we have Verlander, Fried. Assuming we don't want to go down to Lopez, right? Because if we go down to Lopez, we could get a 5K outfielder or something like that. So you're obviously something to discuss. But Verlander, Fried, D'Arnaud, Lowe, Grissom, Bregman, Lindor, Leotis, McCarthy, and Castellanos. That's Leotis Taveras for those listening. Because
I like it. I would.
Right. If you go down again,
go to Pablo.
We have
Tucker over Castellanos.
Yeah. If we go down to Pablo, 81. Castellanos is 56. We're $100 off Jordan, of course, because that would be the chalk. That's what we would want.
Too easy, right? That'd be too easy.
But we could move off McCarthy, like you said, and find a 3K outfielder to throw in there and make that stack happen. Franmil is at 3K. Who did you mention the other down in that range? Nootbaar.
You mentioned Nootbaar,
right? Nootbaar, 27. Could be a guy in that range. So
I don't hate that. The Cardinals going to just garner no love because they were they scored 1 run on an Albert Pujols home run.
So that's probably I guess that's your pivot then. If you're not going to go Fried, if you want to get Jordan with Bregman, you could kind of punt with Newt Bar there, I think. Assuming he's leading off, you could punt with Newt Bar there. So. But I would go back to what we did. Castellanos obviously has the double dong home run upside. Fried's been great. So I think that's a spot to go with Castellanos, and we'll stick with McCarthy, your guy there. He gets on base. He can run. He had a home run the other day. Certainly something to do. So final recap, Justin Verlander, Max Fried, Travis d'Arnaud at catcher, Nathaniel Lowe at first base, Vaughn Grisham at second base, Alex Bregman at third, Francisco Lindor at short, Leodis Taveras at outfield, Nick Castellanos in the outfield, and was it Jake McCarthy at the
Jake McCarthy,
and is wrapping it up there. Got $200 left over. So gonna go ahead and hit enter into that now. Obviously, I played our lineup we made last night. It's cashing. I'll play the lineup that we're in now as well, and we'll go from that. Is all for everybody. If you any final thoughts to what's going on here?
No, I think it's good pod, big slate. A lot of decisions to make, but just you and everybody else are making those decisions. So don't play. I would say final advice: don't play out of your comfort zone on a 15-game slate. Right. In terms of dollars, play within it. Don't go crazy. There's just so much variance on slates like this. It's very hard, especially when cores, just sprinkling a little cores on top of everything too. So.
I agree with that 100%. If you have any questions, we'll be in the Discord answering what you got, help you with the lineups there. I think Justin Vreeland is on the playbook. He'll be there, obviously, to lead you guys to hopefully another successful night. But for James and I, we will catch you guys later.